Welcome to Court Adjourned. And if you like this content, subscribe and leave me some feedback so I can get out of this small creator prison.
Term imposed in counts 1 and 2 will be served consecutive to the prison terms imposed in counts 3 and 4 for an overall prison term of...
On behalf of Mr. Albano, Your Honor, we are requesting that the court consider a sentence of community control with a local jail sanction. We do believe that a sentence of community control is possible under the sentencing guidelines for the particular offenses in which Mr. Albano has accepted responsibility for and pleaded guilty to.
At this time.
Yes, Your Honor. First, I'd like to apologize to my stepdaughter. You saw me as your dad, someone that you can trust and always be there, but I exploded you. I broke the promise I would be the one guy in your life who would never hurt you, the guy that you looked up to protect you, and it turned out that that I was the one that you needed protecting from. The things I did by putting up cameras and talking about you in the most disgusting ways are unforgivable. I hate the damage I caused you, the damage of not trusting, the damage of feeling like less than the amazing person that you are. I took part of your childhood away from you. I exposed you to the part of this world that is vile and disgusting and full of monsters. You looked up to me, confided in me, told me secrets, and I failed you in every way. I was a hypocrite. I told you to always be a better person that you were yesterday. Apologies will never fix anything. I just pray that one day you can put all this behind you and forget. I hope that one day you can find that man that you can finally trust. To the young girls I sent horrible pictures of themselves to other people, I am sorry. I sent pictures of you that were disgusting and vile. I failed you not only as an adult, but as a human being. I damaged you without even knowing you. I am sorry I didn't look at you like a child with feelings, emotions, hopes, and dreams. I am sorry for being part of something that caused you so much pain and suffering. I hope they catch whoever I sent these pictures to so you can find a place in healing. If I can help in any way, I will, so you can move forward with your life and not have these images of you out there. Hope this does not define your life or affect your childhood, that you grow up and not have those images of you affect you. To all the children that are affected by people who did and continue to do these acts, I am truly sorry I was part of the problem. I am sorry that you were exploded and photographed and molested by those that you trusted the most. I am sorry that you were taken advantage of by predators who have hurt you in the most unimaginable ways. I am sorry that you now feel defined by what others did to you. I hope you live the most incredible life despite what others have done to you.
If you made it this far, hit that like button and subscribe.
To my wife, I broke all the vows I promised you. I broke your trust, your faith, the love that you showed me. I lost the one woman in my life that believed in me, even when I didn't believe in myself. I broke the promises that I would provide for them, and make sure that they feel safe. I broke the promise that I was not like every other man in their life and leave them. I'm sorry that now you have to do everything alone and when you depended on me for so much. To my children, I'm sorry that I was not the father you deserve. I was not the dad that you could look up to, that you could depend on. I apologize that I will not be able to be there for your special moments. I am sorry that I have disappointed you in every way. I hope that you both continue being the amazing adults that you grew up to be. I pray that you can move past what I've done and all your dreams come true. I will always love you both. I'm an addict, and I always will be an addict. I am addicted to drugs and sex. I use both to make myself feel better because I never liked myself. I always thought I was not good enough, and I used everyone who loved me to validate who I was. I took all my problems and blamed others. I was always angry, and I took that anger and found every little thing to make others around me feel less than. I did all this behind a cocky exterior who was arrogant, and I thought I was better than everyone. That arrogance is what led me to believe that I was untouchable. It led me to believe that I could control my addictions, but in reality, my addictions controlled every part of my life. Through that arrogance, not only did I lose everyone I loved and cared about me, but I also lost everything that I spent my life building. My home, cars, money, my career. Today, I'm 249 days clean and sober. The only way I have been able to maintain this sobriety is due to regularly attending SAA meetings, counseling, IOP, and in therapy. I feel like I'm back in control of my life. To look to healthy outlets rather than past destructive behaviors of sex and drugs. For the first time in my life, I am starting to like who I am today, but I will never forget who I was. I now know how to deal with those impulsive behaviors through therapy, SAA, and my intensive outpatient therapy. I am trying to be the most responsible person I can be, not for anybody else, but for me first. I know that none of what I'm doing today, or I'm saying, will ever make this better or have those that I have hurt and destroyed forgive me. I know that I will never walk my daughter down the aisle, never hold my grandchildren, and never hear my wife tell me that she loves me again. I'm just trying to rebuild a semblance of a life where I can still help support my wife financially with little money I have. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Anything else on behalf of the defense?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
Ms. Cutts for the state of Ohio.
Thank you, Your Honor. There's an individual here, the mother of the defendant's daughter, who would like to address the court.
We can hear from her at this time. Whoever it is that would like to speak, you can stand right there. State your full name and spell your last name for the court reporter, please, and then take your time and say whatever you'd like me to know.
Jessica Albano Madama, ALBANO-MADDAMMA.
Okay, come in.
I have nothing prepared, so I'm going to speak from my heart, and I would like Tom to look at me, because you didn't even address your daughter and your son here when you read that statement. So please look at me, because I'm speaking on behalf of both of them and your daughter. You may not be criminally charged for what the damage that you did for your daughter, but I sit here and I see what you did to her. You spoke about protecting your stepchildren. The one thing, we didn't have a great marriage, but the one thing we agreed on was to protect your daughter from monsters that did things like that. So you take a very sacred relationship of your daughter who thought the world of you, who looked up to you. Do you remember when you gave her her first jewelry box? The tiny dancer? And how much you loved her? You took that and you destroyed all her dreams. So now we're left. I'm left. Joe's the only one in the family that reached out to her. She's supposed to go read. You sat around the dinner table at graduation knowing that this was all going on. A week later, it all crashed. She hasn't applied to go to law school because she's frozen. You talk about the aftermath of her kids' pictures being there. Her pictures are out there as well. And she's going to be re-victimized over and over again, as well as your other victims. And you blame drugs, and I understand that. But to this day, you've never accepted the responsibility that you took the drugs. You wanted to blame somebody else. And I hope through your recovery that you get to that. But when I get a phone call from my beautiful daughter, she's at a wedding, and she's outside in the cold crying because she realizes she will never have her dad, who she looked up to. She was that tiny dancer that you wanted to protect. I really hope that you get the help. I'm not here to judge. I don't want my heart full of hatred. But I just want you to know that you didn't even look at your daughter when you were addressing her or your son. So to me, I don't think you're remorseful. You're just sorry that you got caught and that you lost everything. You did have everything in the world, Tom. You were smart, you had a degree, you had a phenomenal job, you had a beautiful wife that loved you, and you had 2 beautiful children and stepchildren that leaned on you, and you took all that sacred trust and you destroyed it. I just want you to know that at night, when she's at our house and anywhere else, she double locks her doors. And right after all that came out, she was locking herself in her bedroom, Tom. Because even though you're not getting charged for what you did to her, you will never understand what you destroyed in her. The sacred trust of a daughter and a father. And especially when poor Joe had to tell me that he had to go to speak to the detective to make sure that his own daughter, your granddaughter, was not in any of those pictures. You have a beautiful family, Tom, and your mother. My heart goes out to you. That's all I have to say, Your Honor. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Ms. Cutts.
Thank you, Your Honor. This case came to law enforcement's attention, or Mentor Police Department, at the beginning of April of 2025 when a cyber tip came in for a Kik account. The Kik cyber tip included at that point 13 videos that had been shared with other individuals. Those videos all fall under child sexual abuse material involving prepubescent females as well as young as toddler female being engaged in sexual activity. Based on the information that came in, search warrants were done to get more information about the Kik account that the cyber tip was related to. That came back to the defendant, and additional images and videos were found in the Kik production. When cyber tips come in, the platforms themselves, such as Kik, notify National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. They don't necessarily send every image or video on the Kik account. So the search warrant is to ensure and to see if there is more information. As this investigation was going on, the defendant became involved in the case that is before the Mentor Municipal Court. It was originally charged as domestic violence, aggravated menacing, possessing drug paraphernalia, and I believe using weapons while intoxicated. That case is pending sentencing at this time. The defendant did plead guilty to menacing, misdemeanor to 4th degree, and using weapons while intoxicated. When that case came in, detective was able to have the defendant's cell phone, which was able to be looked through as well. There were concerns whether he was recording other individuals. So at the time, his wife allowed the police to go into the home to see if there were any recording devices. In the Kik production, there was conversations that talked about putting a camera in the bathroom in the home. It was confirmed that in fact a camera had been put in the bathroom that the family used within the home. There were multiple dates. There were 2 specific dates that captured his stepchildren as well as one of his stepdaughter's friends using the bathroom in various states of nudity. That is the bathroom that had a shower in it, so there were times when somebody was either getting in or out of the shower, so they were had no clothing on, were completely naked, and obviously using the toilet as well. So there was his 11-year-old stepdaughter was recorded, her 12-year-old friend, and then his then 16-year-old stepson was also, they were recorded. Those were found on, so there was the camera itself with the SD card, and then his phone had videos of that as well. The Kik production also had within it numerous chats that the defendant was involved in. He got involved in various groups that you can become involved in that has topics of interest that bring people into those groups. In a 1-month time period of November 2024 to December of 2024, he joined 278 groups. All the way through May, he joined a total of 532 groups. A large number of these groups were related to things such as daddy-daughter, fantasy, and real activity. Groups where you can go in and speak about things you fantasize about, hear other people's fantasies, as well as share what other people have actually done. So there's, whether it's the fantasy of what you're thinking about or the people who have actually done things, and they all share that information with each other, speaking as well as sending it through images or videos, whether it be of their children or other people's children. Some of these group chats, to get into them, you have to show a picture of you with a daughter so that you can be allowed into the group. So the defendant did use pictures of both his then 11-year-old stepdaughter and his 21-year-old daughter. Most of those images did have a level of clothing, whether it be bathing suits or things of that nature, but just to even to get into those groups to have these conversations in an attempt to ensure that people who don't have children aren't involved in those conversations. He also was seen to have many chats with individuals who identified themselves as between the ages of 12 and 16 years old. He was sending photographs of himself naked and his penis to those individuals. He was sending, exchanging with individual users on Kik, as well as posting to those groups where multiple people can see whatever is posted at that point. That included pictures of adults who were not wearing clothing, but that were naked, including defendant's wife, who did decline charges for her aspects. When police had contact with the defendant, he initially denied remembering or knowing what Kik was, and when the detective informed him that he already had his Kik records is when he started admitting that he knew what Kik was. This case unfolded a little differently than often happens prior to Detective Palcho being ready to look at search warrants and things of that nature for a residence. He was already concerned about the children in the home, so he brought in the mother of the stepchildren, defendant's wife, to let her know what was going on to ensure the safety of the children and to have Job and Family Services step in. So when they went to the house to have the defendant leave the house, they did not have a search warrant. He took various items that later were not available for them to review. During that time frame, he was also seen taking what looked to be medical vials, which were seen on videos of him injecting himself. He had told the police that he was diabetic, which is not the information in the pre-sentence report. And later in his phone, there were video or images of the vials, which are from veterinarian, which were steroids. So that goes to kind of the drug use aspects as well. So this is something that has gone from individuals he does not know, or that we have no information that he knows, through receiving from other people, anything he could have found out falling under child sexual abuse material. And then he went a step further than we often see and actually began recording minors that he indicated in some of the reports that the court has received that he was sending those images out as well. We also are aware that he took a picture of his 11-year-old stepdaughter sleeping kind of under blankets, lifting up the blankets, things of that nature, and was sending those things out. So in this case, we do have, in a sense, multiple levels of victims that know the defendant, are aware of him, as well as victims who don't know him. The child sexual abuse materials of the other children are not victimless. Some of them were identified through National Center for Missing and Exploited Children's Child Victim Identification Program. Some were out of the country, some were in the country. They did not have victim impact statements attached to them. Some choose to do victim impact statements, some do not. there was reference made to re-victimization, and that is something that does become an issue when things are on the internet, because you can't take them off. Even if everybody who the defendant sent images to are located, they send them on, and it's something that does not come off the internet. When you are officially identified through National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, you can be notified of each time your images are used or viewed. Many people initially start to have those notifications, but later ask not to be, because it is such a prevalent thing that it is re-traumatizing and very upsetting to people. So in this case, we have injury exacerbated by the victim's ages. We have as young as toddler in the CSAM, as well as the range of the victims for the voyeurism are from 11 to 16 years of age at that time, and there were multiple victims in at least one of the voyeurism counts. Victims suffered psychological harm. You have two young girls who, how much they were told by their guardians or parents is not clear, but their images are available to be on the internet, if not already on the internet. We have the mother of those children who clearly was upset, had to have Job and Family Services step in, had to get a protection order and change her life to try and protect her children. The relationship with the victims obviously facilitated the ones that lived in the home. He knew they all used the bathroom, things of that nature. The seriousness goes beyond these 4 charges with the level of group chats and conversations that I've already gone over. The defendant indicated that he started this in December of 2024. There were some groups that he was involved in as early as November of 2024. It's hard for the state to think that that's when he started, since that's when he got caught. There was also some question back in May of 2024, more adult related, but with Snapchat, which seemed to be leading to where we are now. As I mentioned before, in 2025, he did plead guilty to that menacing and weapons while intoxicated, and that is set for sentencing on December 29th of 2025. He has indicated that he used to use cocaine. That was involved in his prior incident, the Mentor Municipal Court case as well. He is now currently working as a bartender, which is a concern to the state. Obviously, alcohol is readily available there, and in many restaurants, the culture and bartenders are that drugs, including cocaine, are often available. The defendant also made a statement that he thinks he's good as far as substance use and mental health treatment, which led to the evaluator indicating a guarding prognosis, since he had minimum insight and impaired judgment as to the seriousness of the situation and his treatment needs. The state would disagree that this is a scenario that is unlikely to recur. He has indicated he's an addict. Relapse is not unheard of. Absolutely has the ability to occur again. He is likely more experienced in some of the technology aspects, since he worked in IT at Cleveland Clinic, to be able to use some of these aspects. Based on all of that, the level of harm, the seriousness, the steps going beyond pure viewing, the state does feel that prison is consistent and that he is not amenable to community control. He has 1 day credit. Obviously, the court has already informed him of his Tier 2 status. There's also a forfeiture for the iPhone camera and SD card that had been taken. If the court is inclined to give him an opportunity on community control, the state would like to be heard about conditions, but it is our recommendation for prison at this time. Thank you.
Before will be the sentence of this court, then it counts 1 and 2. Defendant serve a term in prison of 18 months on each count. They'll be served concurrent with each other. On counts 3 and 4, defendant serve a term in prison of 12 months on each count. Those will be served concurrent to each other. But the prison term imposed in counts 1 and 2 will be served consecutive to the prison terms imposed in counts 3 and 4 for an overall prison term of 30 months in prison. Give credit for 1 day. Need to advise you upon your release, you will be placed on post-release control for 5 years. When on post-release control, if you violate any of the conditions of your supervision, the parole authority can return you to prison as punishment for violating the rules for another 9 months for